Welcome to Informed Tourist. This is your traveling guru Curtis. Today it's California, the world's fifth largest economy, is home to towns with poverty rates higher than Mississippi. This is the paradox of modern California. We see the iconic Golden Gate Bridge in Hollywood's glamour, a carefully curated image sold to the world. Millions come for opportunity, but just an hour from the coast, the shine fades. Main streets are lined with boarded-up shops, tent cities sprawl under freeways, and the promise of California feels distant. From the Oregon border to the deserts near Arizona, entire towns are struggling. The prosperity of major cities is a world away from these communities. The dream of a safe, prosperous California is colliding with a harsh reality for millions. The state's failure to provide basic services has left many to fend for themselves in an increasingly chaotic environment. Why do so many families who once dreamed of a new beginning in California now find themselves desperate to leave? The Golden State, long seen as a land of opportunity and reinvention, is now a place where hope can quickly turn to hardship. Take Maria, a dedicated nurse, who moved her family to a Sacramento suburb in 2020. Like thousands of others, she and her husband scraped together their savings to buy a modest home, drawn by the promise of good schools, safe neighborhoods, and a brighter future for their children. They imagined backyard barbecues, friendly neighbors, and a community where their kids could thrive. But reality set in quickly. Their mortgage swallowed more than half their income, leaving little for anything else. The local schools, once highly rated, were now overcrowded and underfunded. Parks that should have been safe havens for children were neglected and sometimes dangerous. Every week brought new challenges. Break-ins in the neighborhood, utility bills that seemed to climb higher each month, and a constant sense of anxiety that never quite went away. Maria and her husband found themselves working longer hours just to keep up, but it never felt like enough. Maria's story is far from unique. Across California, families from all backgrounds are facing the same struggles. The dream that once drew people here is slipping away, replaced by disappointment and uncertainty. The middle-class foundation that once defined the state has started to crumble. Neighborhoods that were once vibrant are now dotted with empty homes and for sale signs, as more and more families decide they can't afford to stay. Well-paying jobs have become scarce, replaced by low-wage service work or highly specialized tech roles that only a few can access. The gap between the wealthy and everyone else grows wider every year, leaving many behind. Tourists still flock to Hollywood Boulevard and the beaches, snapping photos of California's famous landmarks. But behind the scenes, residents face rising costs, decaying public spaces, and a sense that the state's best days are behind it. For many, the California dream has become a daily struggle just to get by. Families juggle multiple jobs, cut back on essentials, and wonder if leaving is the only way forward. The state that once represented the future for millions now feels like a failed experiment for its residents, a place where dreams are harder and harder to hold on to. Imagine working hard at a full-time job, putting in long hours, and still not being able to afford a basic apartment of your own. What if, despite your best efforts, you found yourself priced out of the very city you helped keep running? This isn't just a hypothetical. It's the daily reality for millions of Californians caught in the grip of a relentless housing crisis. From young professionals to families, the struggle to find an affordable place to live is everywhere. The median home price in California has soared to over $900,000, putting homeownership out of reach for most working people. Even those with good jobs often find themselves unable to save enough for a down payment. Renting isn't much easier. In many cities, the cost of a modest apartment can easily top $3,500 a month. That's more than half the average person's take-home pay, leaving little left for food, healthcare, or savings. Families are forced to make impossible choices, spending most of their income on rent, squeezing into overcrowded apartments, or enduring hours-long commutes from distant suburbs just to keep a roof over their heads. For decades, California simply hasn't built enough housing to keep up with demand. Empty lots and stalled projects dot the landscape, a stark reminder of missed opportunities. Strict regulations, lengthy approval processes, and local opposition have created a severe shortage of new homes. Neighborhood protests and red tape often stop projects before they even begin. Developers say it can take years just to get a project approved, and with high costs, only luxury units get built, leaving ordinary people with nowhere to go. Essential workers, teachers, firefighters, nurses, often can't afford to live in the communities they serve. This hollowing out of neighborhoods weakens the very fabric of California's cities and towns. The most visible and heartbreaking result is California's massive homelessness crisis. Over 180,000 people now live on the streets, in tents, or in their cars, more than any other state. Increasingly, these aren't just individuals struggling with addiction or mental illness. More and more, they are families with children and seniors who have been priced out of their homes after a lifetime time of work. The sprawling encampments in cities like Oakland and Los Angeles are a stark human reminder of decades of policy failure and neglect. California's housing market has no room for its most vulnerable residents. Without bold action, the crisis will only deepen, leaving more people without a place to call home. When did it become normal to see store shelves locked behind plastic shields? In many California towns, this is the new reality. Retailers are closing due to relentless theft, and organized crime rings operate with impunity. In San Francisco, shopping districts feel empty and haunted. Residents report a growing sense of lawlessness. Car break-ins are so common, people leave their windows down to avoid smashed glass. Proposition 47, passed in 2014, reclassified many felonies as misdemeanors, removing accountability for repeat offenders. Stealing under $950 is now a misdemeanor, so police and prosecutors rarely act. This emboldens criminals and leaves citizens feeling helpless. Everyday violations, stolen patio furniture, catalytic converters, destroy a community's sense of safety. When people no longer feel safe, the social fabric unravels. The golden promise of California feels far away when you're afraid to walk down your own street. What holds a state together? It's not just its people or its laws, but the very bones of civilization. Roads, bridges, and power lines. These are the arteries and veins that keep California alive, connecting communities, powering homes, and moving goods from city to city. But in California, these lifelines are visibly failing. Cracks snake across highways, bridges show their age with rust and decay, and power poles lean precariously, battered by storms and neglect. Every day, drivers swerve to avoid cavernous potholes, risking accidents and damage to their vehicles. The cost isn't just frustration. Californians spend hundreds, sometimes thousands, each year on repairs that could have been avoided with proper maintenance. Major highways, once symbols of progress, are now plagued by constant disrepair. Endless construction zones and crumbling pavement turn commutes into daily endurance tests, causing hours of lost productivity and increasing the risk of serious accidents. The state's aging power grid is another weak link. Every fire season, millions brace for planned power shutoffs, hoping to avoid catastrophic wildfires, but left in the dark for days at a time. Businesses lose inventory as food spoils, families huddle around candles, and entire neighborhoods are plunged into uncertainty. For many, these outages are more than an inconvenience. They're a threat to health and safety. Water infrastructure is also crumbling. California hasn't built a major new reservoir in over 40 years, even as droughts grow more severe. In rural communities, contaminated wells force families to rely on bottled water, unsure if clean water will ever flow from their taps again. Meanwhile, billions have been poured into ambitious projects like high-speed rail, but basic needs, like road repairs and water storage, are left behind. Unfinished tracks and abandoned construction sites are stark reminders of misplaced priorities. For everyday Californians, the consequences are inescapable. Bone-jarring commutes, frequent power outages, and unreliable water supplies have become the new normal, eroding quality of life and trust in government. These failures are not sudden, they're the result of decades of neglected investment, political gridlock, and poor policy choices. Reports pile up, but action is always just out of reach. California's foundation is crumbling beneath its feet, and as the cracks widen, the question remains, who will step up to fix it before it's too late? For the first time, California is losing population. Hundreds of thousands are leaving for states like Texas and Idaho. This reversal is a stunning vote of no confidence in the state's future. It's not just the wealthy leaving. Middle-class families, young professionals, and retirees are packing up. Exit surveys cite high costs, housing, crime, and declining quality of life. One family sold their small Orange County home and bought a bigger, cheaper house in Idaho. We can breathe again, they say. When families leave, schools lose students, businesses close, and towns decline further. Major companies like Tesla and Oracle have moved headquarters, citing high taxes and regulations. As people and companies leave, communities lose their tax base and vitality. California's economic dominance is no longer guaranteed. The exodus signals that the promise of opportunity and prosperity is broken. Who's left to fight for these struggling towns? The people who stay. Across California, local activism is rising. Parents, business owners, and residents organizing for change. In San Francisco, parents recalled school board members who prioritize politics over reopening schools. In Oakland, neighbors form safety patrols and install security cameras to combat crime. We pay our taxes. We deserve to feel safe, says a neighborhood watch leader. Small business owners are banding together, suing over restrictive regulations and hiring private security. These are acts of desperation by people who feel abandoned by officials. Local fighters are the heart of potential renewal, proving civic engagement isn't dead. They're reclaiming parks, demanding accountability, and refusing to surrender their communities. These citizens are writing the next chapter of the California story. Is it possible to turn the tide? In some corners of California, the answer is a cautious yes. Public frustration is translating into political change. Voters are demanding results. Progressive district attorneys have been recalled, and new mayors are prioritizing public safety and homelessness. The state is making it easier to build new housing, slowly chipping away at the shortage. Community-led initiatives are reducing homelessness and revitalizing downtowns. These successes are often local, driven by leaders willing to try new ideas. The challenges remain immense, but these small victories show decline isn't inevitable. When communities and pragmatic leaders work together, it's possible to fix what's broken. What's the hidden truth behind California's decline? It wasn't an accident. It was the result of decades of policy choices that prioritized ideals over practical needs. The state made it nearly impossible to build housing, weakened consequences for crime, and neglected infrastructure. The dream of a progressive utopia led to widespread dysfunction. The good news: if bad choices led California here, better choices can lead it out. The path forward: build more housing, restore order, and invest in infrastructure. These are not partisan ideas, they're the basics of good governance. California's story is a cautionary tale for the nation. Its future depends on voters, local fighters, and leaders choosing pragmatism over politics. The state still has immense strengths, innovation, universities, and natural beauty. Facing the truth is the first step to reclaiming the California dream for everyone. Thank you for watching Informed Tourist. If you found this video informative, please like and subscribe. Help me grow this channel, just hit that subscribe button. Now, enjoy this video.